Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped. Something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Okay, that was a minute.
Good. Yeah. It's better. It's not not 100%, but much better.
Great. So.
Yeah. So where to begin? I did have some things written down, which I think I just will go through really quickly because it might take me back to the place I was at when I was writing them. Mm-hmm. Basically, it's just a bunch of stuff that I'm not sure what I'm doing when I'm not doing a formal thing with you regarding IFS, but things just kind of happen, you know. It's very strange. It's not. I do try and do some deliberate stuff, but all of a sudden something will just be in my head, and I'll have to pay attention to it. You know.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
How's it been going?
It's good. It's fine. I get messages. Oh my God, I sound like a lunatic. I get messages in my brain.
We all do. We all do.
Yes. So one of the messages that I got, I think maybe this was something I had written to you about rather than talking about, but the three things that come in, protective things that come in really strongly for me are confusion, sadness, and the desperate need to be asleep. I don't know if I told you about that, but it comes in those three things arrive. And the need to sleep is overpowering. It's not because I'm tired. It's just the need to be horizontal and to black out the world. And I've had that for a long, long time. And I've always been quite grateful for it, really, because there's a shit ton of worse things I could choose to do to black the world out,
Right. Yeah.
And going for a sleep is pretty. I mean, it was sometimes inconvenient, and I did learn to sleep in the strangest places. If I could find a book in a desk, I could rest my head in my hands, looking down at my book, and look like I was reading, but actually I was taking a little nap. So lots of places I found. Anyway, so sleep has been this thing. Well, the message that came was from the Orange Safety Mesh guy. Do you remember him?
Yes.
And he just popped in and said, "I'm the one that makes you sleepy." And that was it. There wasn't any more than that. There was no conversation. There was no... And it just brought me up to a sort of a dead stop. And I kind of went, wait, what? Wait, what?
Yeah.
But that was it. That just sort of... So odd things like that have been happening. I've also realised that I have... And I think this realisation might have come after I listened to the session with, is it Scott? A recent one, just a couple ago.
Yeah.
I had to listen to it twice, actually, because I didn't know what was going on the first time, and so I listened again. And it was soon after that I got this realisation that I also have this thing where I think it was his turning the lights off thing that made me realise.
Yes.
That I have this thing. It's not just the sleep that turns the lights off, but I also have this thing where I can, in the blink of an eye, I can stop something. And usually the thing that I stop is an unpleasant thing. It's either sadness or anger is a little bit trickier, but various things like that, I can go, flick the switch, gone, okay, I'm fine now. And it can happen in an instant. I can be, it's really bonkers. And I'm in that space. Usually I'm in that space for long enough to get me out of a situation, to remove myself. And then Orange Mesh guy turns up with sleep.
Okay. So the first one is more of a just blanking, lights out, take you out of the situation, and then the Orange Mesh.
I'm not really blanking out. I'm just, if I was sad, I can go from sad to not sad in a blink of an eye, or I can go from anxious to not anxious, and it's a genuine thing. I am no longer sad and I'm no longer anxious.
Okay.
But I'm in that state long enough to get me to a place where I can then probably need to sleep. But I can operate as if I'm completely fine and not sad, not angry, not anxious. I'm absolutely okay.
Wow. Sounds very useful.
It is useful, yeah. I remember using it when I had to do any kind of speaking in front of a group. The anxiousness would be there, and then I could just flick the switch and say, all gone, I'm good.
Yeah.
It was very strange. Anyway, there was that. Probably the other things aren't so much. Oh, the other thing too, I think that this was another one of these things that just sort of arrived. It's to do with what my expectations were around IFS. And what I wrote, I'll just read out what I wrote down because I can't remember the whole process now. But what I wrote down was expectations versus reality regarding IFS. And then underneath that, learn to love reality because it's lovely. So it was something to do with expectations. My expectations of IFS were not being met. You know, I had things I wanted to do or wanted to achieve, and some frustration around that not happening. And the response was, your expectations haven't been met, but I don't know how to put the words, but what you've had is real, and that was pretty good. You know what I mean? So
it's real. You have the love for reality that's real.
Yeah. So learn to love reality because it's lovely is what I wrote down. And, you know, the expectations, you know, live in a different place, really. Anyway.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of other stuff too, but those are probably the main ones. The other major thing that I wanted to talk about, there are a couple of times in my life, one in my sort of later teenage years and another towards the end of my 20s, that you know, have had a profound effect on my life. And this is part of the expectations thing. I was sort of thinking IFS might be able to have a look at those times, you know. But they weren't easy times. They weren't, you know, they were a bit rough. And I think this is the other sort of thing that I've come to realise. There's a thing that quite often happens when I'm working with you and sometimes with myself too, and it's in relation to the question, what does that part want you to know about itself? And that question generates a huge response, which is basically a closing down response. It's like a wall. It's quite quickly, but not instantaneously, just goes and there's a wall there, and there's not going to be any response.
Yeah, I think we were experiencing that from a part we spoke with last time.
Were we? Yes. And that happens a lot. And then a whole bunch of other stuff comes in, which I think I wrote to you about this is dumb, this isn't worth it, you're going to make it worse, you know, all of that stuff. And I think what's happening is that there is a whole brigade of parts who are very, very, very fearful of me going to those times and places.
Yes.
And particularly worried about the public nature of it, so the podcast part of it. And I think, now I'm getting the sense from them that they're just going to block everything to protect that.
Yeah. All right.
So it feels to me like it feels to me like that could be a real, like I don't want to waste your time on, like just, so, but however, there is another thing. There is another huge issue in my life, which is unrelated to either of those other two times in the past. It's very recent. I think I mentioned it before. It's to do with my family. And I'm sure that there's some connection, layers and layers and layers down, but it's not a direct connection to those. So what I've done, and this is where I'd like to know what you reckon. What I have done is I have promised all those parts that put up walls and hurl insults at me and send me to sleep and all of those things. I have promised all those parts that we won't go to those places.
Okay.
I don't even know if I can do that. I don't even know if that's a legitimate, like I just I don't know if I'm doing the right thing here. But I've promised them that we won't, but that there's other things that I can talk to James about.
Yeah.
So I'd just like to get, what do you reckon about that?
Yeah, that sounds like one option, to just not go there. Another is to go wherever you want, and if you decide to not share something after the fact, then that's no problem. And I won't consider that a waste of my time.
Okay. I guess my concern is making a promise that I can't actually keep.
Yeah, I get that. Because when you're in it, you're kind of going wherever parts take you, and and it will be hard for me to know exactly which parts we're trying not to go to. I'm going to just, when a part comes up, I'm going to say, hey, let's notice it and welcome it. So that does sound like a difficult promise to keep.
Yeah. And I already feel like I've made promises to parts that I haven't kept. Like I have a feel, because I'm not very good at remembering our sessions, which is kind of bonkers. But anyway, I feel like I've made promises to parts that I haven't kept, that I've told them I'd check in on them and stuff. And I don't want to make another promise I can't keep.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. It just goes round in circles in my head. I don't know what to do about it.
So again, it would be it sounds to me like it would be a much easier promise for me to keep, of you don't have to publish anything you don't want to.
Right.
That's kind of just a simple flip of a switch. You share something, you say, I don't want to publish that, and I say, okay.
Right. And you're good with that? You sure you're good with that?
I appreciate you asking. I mean, it's true that I'm trying to make a podcast here, and people have 100 different reasons why they ask for cuts. I think the important thing is that I understand what that's about. I mean, I don't need all the details, but sometimes people will ask for a cut, and I'm not really, I don't get it. And that sometimes concerns me, where it's like, okay, what else am I not getting? But in the big picture, we've done great work. We've published great work. And if some of our work doesn't get published, I don't see a problem with that.
Okay. Okay. So that sounds good. And I think it feels like something we need to keep touching base with each other. Not sort of Well, I should speak on my own behalf. I probably need to keep touching base with you about that to make sure that, just to check where things are at with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think.
And I could also make a note to myself to be more, just to remind you of that. And yeah, at the beginning of a call, I can remind you of that and remind you of how I'm feeling about that.
Yes, that would be really good. I think there will be a time somewhere in the future when I get a lot more adept at
adept,
better at what I'm doing, because at the moment it's just kind of actually there's been something I've been dying to say to you all week. It's been really wild around these parts recently.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I think that's very funny.
All right. Yeah. Well, and you said that you are stopping and noticing and attending to parts when they come up.
Yes.
You're talking about loving reality. I'm hearing check. Great news.
Yeah, that's the other one I wanted to tell you about, actually. Do you remember very early on, the little one that I can't remember where she came from.
With the blanket?
Came and cuddled with the blanket, yeah. Mm-hmm. She is so freaking happy these days. She is like, she's not verbal. She's not verbal at all, really. Just a few words here and there. But she's smiling and giggling and squirmy and she's not getting any bigger. She's not growing, but in some odd way she's developing. She's still a little one, and she still sits with me while I'm crocheting, but she is rounder and more robust and than she was.
You haven't forgot her.
Yeah. She's one I was good with and I feel good about. So, I just wanted to let you know that
I think that's really awesome. And I mean, when you have 10 protectors shouting at you from different angles, I mean, it's very hard to keep track of who's who. But with these exiles, it's so much clearer, and you are maintaining contact. So,
yeah. I mean, it's weird things like her hair is curlier now, like it's all buffy, whereas before it lay down quite flat. Anyway, she's, I enjoy her. She hangs around quite a lot. So, but it is pretty wild, things just happen. And in fact, over the last week or so, I really, I took a break because, I was getting a bit, I don't know what the word is, a bit scattered and lost and directionless. Things just seemed to come, and it just all felt a bit. So I took a bit of a break and just tried not to do any of it. But that's okay.
It is.
I don't think I can ever actually shut the door again.
Yeah.
You kind of know what you know, and you can't unknow it.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Loving reality.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. There isn't much alternative, really, is there? Well, there's fighting it, but that's not very,
yeah.
It's not very productive. So anyway, so the stuff with the family, which I think, which I am interested in, and it has been a huge part of my life over the last 3 or 4 years. And some of this, I'll have to see if I want to cut some of this out, but I'll just talk. Basically, my relationship with virtually all my immediate family, my siblings, has changed over the last 3 years to, unrecognizable from what it was. And the email I got this morning was in relation to all of this. And so this is the part that I may want to cut out. Anyway, the situation is absurd. So there's another part of me that tells me that I am absurd, that this is absurd. I was in my 60s. I'd known these people my entire life. What the fuck am I playing at? There are other parts that tell me that this has been the most peaceful, calm time that I can remember in my life, when I cannot be contacted by these people who always want something from me.
Yeah.
And, I have brought my external world down to just nothing, and it is blissful.
Yeah. Okay.
There's another part that's sad. There's another part that's angry. There's parts galore. And
yes.
And the reality is that my mother is. She's either next year. She is either going to be, which is going to be a big family thing, or there's also the chance that she may pass away as well, which is also going to be a fucking big family thing. And I'm not prepared for either of those things. And one or other of them is inevitable. So I feel kind of dumb about the whole thing.
Dumb,
D-U-M-B, silly, dumb.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's just absurd, And then I get this email this morning, which sets me off, and maybe that's a good place to start, because that's right there, right now.
They're all welcome. Welcome the one that says it's absurd. The sad and angry ones.
Yeah.
Or the anxious ones concerned that you're just not prepared for whatever happens next.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all there, man alive.
They'd all be good to know.
Yeah, I guess the one that I'm most interested in is the one that needs me to be at such a big distance from them.
Yeah.
And I realize too that this isn't just the last 3 years and just over the house. This was actually happening before. About 5 years ago, I had a heart attack, and Nobody in my family know. My kids know. That's it. I didn't tell anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't tell my mother because she would just worry. It would, and every day she'd be looking at me with big puppy eyes, going, "Are you okay?" And then I'd have to end up looking after her concern. So I didn't want to worry her, but I didn't tell anybody else either. So I realised this separation has been going on for a while. I really didn't trust any of them with my well-being, if you like, all that aspect of it.
Yeah. Okay.
So this need to put boundaries that are kilometres wide between me and them. Is that a place that would be good to start, or does it need to be a bit more definite than that?
I think that's a fine place to start.
Okay. So the part that wants to keep distance from my family.
Yeah, if it's apart.
Yeah.
Because self makes boundaries too.
This is an enormous one.
Mm-hmm.
This is an exaggerated one. This is a blind, deaf, dumb, unconscious person would recognise this boundary.
Mm-hmm.
It's over the top. This boundary is over the top. Yeah.
All right. Well, we can assume it's apart and try to learn about it that way.
Yeah. I'd like to learn about it. Yeah.
Okay. How do you notice it in your body?
The part that keeps the boundary. It's a little tricky. How do I notice it in my body? In a sense, it kind of is my body. Maybe I've so totally welcomed and invited it in that it is me.
Maybe.
Everything I do, I check in with whether this is going to weaken that boundary.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very strong. Wherever it is, it's very strong. The word that's coming is all-encompassing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just everywhere, really.
Yeah. A moment ago, you said that it was over the top.
Yeah.
Did that feel like that was a part saying it was over the top?
Oh. Yes. Yes. Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yes. Huh. Yep.
Yeah. I'm still not conclusive on if we're dealing with a part here.
Okay.
The one that made the boundary.
Right.
If it was self saying the boundary is over the top, then okay. But if it's a part saying the boundary is over the top, maybe it's just a part that's being a part.
Yeah, so the part saying that it's over the top is not saying that it's unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
It understands that I needed to put boundaries in place. My boundaries were being swamped and broken every day, all over the place, in complete lack of respect.
Yeah. And for the first time in your life, you created boundaries that are in one way or another respected with them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes another part saying, that's bonkers, man.
Yeah.
65 fucking years, and I'm just now putting a boundary in place? For God's sake.
Oh, well, here you go. Yeah. So, yeah, we have this polarity here. The parts that say, well, that's too much. And then another part saying, well, that's too late. almost saying that's not enough.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a really strong one in me now saying about fucking time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, the boundaries were really important.
They are.
They still are. They still are. It's so scary.
Which is scary?
It's scary. I'm on constant alert and hyper vigilant about any breaking of them, of my boundaries. It hasn't settled into a sort of I don't feel like it's settled into a this is who I am and this is how I need to be related to. I feel at any moment, for any reason, if anything in the circumstances changed, then I'm at risk again. Any little thing changes. And that's what the email was about. The email changed the circumstances.
Yeah.
And put me immediately at risk of having my boundaries broken again. The email arrived to me, and it's a big deal. And so what I did was I just forwarded the email to everyone else, and I just said, I don't have any more information. Basically, I'm saying to them, this is your shit. Do not come at me. I don't know what's going on. It's nothing to do with me. This is what I didn't say this, but this is the place it was coming from. This is what you wanted. You've got it. Leave me the fuck out of it.
Yeah, you didn't say that part. You said I have no more information.
No.
Which, so you gave them the information you had, and
I passed the information on, and I said, this is all I know. If you want to know any more, talk to the people who sent the email and the people and the neighbours who instigated this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very nice. I said, g'day everyone and cheers and all that sort of stuff. But I was trying really hard to maintain that boundary because and it triggered me big time, that email.
Yeah.
Sorry, I feel like I've taken things off course.
I think it's great. I think we're noticing parts.
Yeah.
This is a big deal. This has been something you've been dealing with for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Maintaining the boundary, are you saying it, you feel like that's coming more from a place of kind of fear than it is coming from compassion, courage, confidence?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's very fearful.
Mm-hmm.
Panicked almost.
Okay. Would you like to get to know that one?
Yeah. Yeah. Why does my family panic me? Yeah.
How does that show up? How does that show up in your body?
Hang on a minute. That's insane has just turned up again.
Yeah, bonkers.
Bonkers, insane. What the?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I get where you're coming from, insane. I do. But if we're going to move this out of this loop that we're all in together,
Yeah.
it would be really useful if I could talk to the panicked one and find out what that's about.
Yep.
Okay, so give me a moment. Okay. That's insane is willing to step back, but not too far.
Okay. Any other parts object?
Yeah, there's a bit of angry in there. Angry is saying, stop all this ridiculous nonsense. Just yell at them. They're all assholes and they don't, just be done with them.
Yeah. It's angry that you're spending energy internally like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a total waste of fucking time.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit anyway. Yeah. Okay.
So you've acknowledged that one?
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
Uh-huh.
Oh gosh, it's strong.
Okay. If he doesn't want to step back, we can chat with him.
Did I call him a him? I think it might be a she. I don't know. Perhaps we'll stick with it at the moment. Yeah, it. Angry is it. I don't want to talk to angry, James. I'm so tired of angry.
Yeah. I get that. We don't have to. I could talk to angry.
Oh. It could be a lot of swearing.
Yeah. Angry is pissed about the amount of energy that you've spent externally and internally.
Yes.
The number of parts that come up around all of this, the amount of anxiety and concern that you feel around this whenever it comes up.
Yeah.
And
the fucking
it
time
sees
it gets wasted.
yes. And if it just wants you to be done with it.
Yep.
And tell them all to fuck off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
That makes a ton of sense to me.
And it's standing with its hands on its hips and its back towards me, right up close, and it's back towards me. And it's looking at you and saying, and what are you going to do about it?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you my plan. I got a secret.
You and whose army?
I'll tell you about my secret plan and the army I'm going to use.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's actually you and your army, but so my plan is, here's the plan. I'd like to get to know these parts. I'd like to get to know this part I'm talking to right now, this angry one.
Yeah.
Because I think it's there for a really good reason. And I don't think it's crazy. And I bet it has a lot more of a story than simply, this is stupid, fuck this. I bet it's got more than just that one emotion and kind of experience. So the plan is, get to know this part, maybe get to know some other parts. They're strong, they're there. We might as well get to know them and put them to good use. I imagine this angry part could be very valuable when it comes to enforcing certain boundaries or whatever when it's needed. So yeah, figuring out the army inside of you by these conversations.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
What to think about that?
I'm not sure who's listening to those words.
Okay, well, it's for everybody.
Okay.
But I definitely don't think anger is like dumb or wrong or needs to go away.
Okay. That softens anger just a tad. Like.
Yeah. I don't want to change anger, the angry part, into some other part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't make a lot of fucking sense. Sorry, that's anger talking.
Oh, yeah? Well, if it wants to change, if it wants another role, then maybe we can look out for that. But,
yeah.
When I say they're welcome and they're there for a reason, I'm not just fucking around. Like, I actually believe that.
Yeah. I think anger would like to talk to you directly.
Awesome.
Because it's got some stuff to say.
Yeah. All right. What's it been like? What's it been like, anger?
It's been a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like.
Tell me more.
Well, because I have to do the same thing over and over and over fucking again, and nobody learns. Nobody learns. It's like they're all dim-witted or something.
Nobody learns inside or outside?
Inside.
Uh-huh.
I mean, outside, whatever, they're all morons. But inside, Jesus Christ, how many times do I have to say it?
And what are you saying?
They're morons. Forget them. For fuck's sake.
Right. So that's your message: is that the other parts should ignore, should say goodbye, and stop crying, stop being anxious, stop whatever else.
Well, they should,
and the other parts aren't respecting that.
Yeah, well, they should learn. They should at least learn. Yeah. Like everybody, the external world, that's a fucking shithole. Like, why do they even bother? Like, why do they even bother? I keep telling them over and over again. And they're so fucking slow. They just keep on doing what they're doing. Yeah. I don't care what they do.
Uh-huh.
But to do the same shit all the time.
Are we talking about external now?
No, sorry.
Okay, good. It's fine. It's fine. No, I'm with you. Yep. You don't care what the other parts do, but why won't they learn?
Yeah, the angry part is much more concerned with the internal parts than the external, because the external parts, that's sorted. That's they're morons. They're idiots. Right. They're morons. That's done. That's a done deal.
The angry part kind of got its way around that.
Yeah. It's got that knows exactly what the external part is like.
Awesome.
The internal part is like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
I've told you already a million times, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So that sucks.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah. Yeah. The anger that was so valuable and may have really helped you establish this boundary externally it's this tool, but isn't quite connecting with the other parts internally. Whatever it's doing isn't working for them. Or
not
vice
working
versa.
Internally. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it just seems like they're deaf.
Yeah.
It seems like they can't hear what I'm yelling at them.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm yelling at them, actually. I'm just yelling at them to fucking grow up.
Grow up, move on, leave it.
Move on, leave it alone. You know, Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense to me. And I imagine, tell me if I'm guessing this right, that you feel somewhat alone in that message, that perhaps Genie isn't quite backing you up on that or allowing that to be a part of her process.
Genie hasn't. I do it for her because she doesn't. She's a bit fucking lazy, you know. She just lets me do it, you know.
Right.
I'm good at it. Fuck, I'm good at being angry.
You're good at being angry, but are you good at helping these parts move on?
Oh, who knows? Who the fuck knows?
You tell me.
Jesus, I've tried.
I know you've tried. I see that. You're a hell of a you give it a try, right? That's part of who you are.
Yep.
You step out in front.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And none of them listen to me, and I don't even know if Genie listens to me.
I wonder.
She kind of just hands it all over to me, you know.
Yeah, she was telling me earlier about how she can just flip a switch and kind of go in and out with parts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, so you don't even know if she listens to you, so I don't imagine you feel very appreciated.
No. She gets tired of me, even though if I'm I mean, it's ludicrous. She gets tired of me, but if I'm not doing it, well, who's going to? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, if she's not listening to you, then you can't trust her to do the things that you find important.
Yeah.
Or to evaluate them and value them.
And what quite often happens is that, oh, God. What quite often happens is that she goes to fucking sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she thinks that works.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She hands it over to you, and then she hands it over to sleep.
Yeah. She just goes to sleep, and she thinks that makes it better. But I'm still here.
Right. Yeah, I imagine it's the put her to sleep part that thinks that makes it better. And I imagine that part is probably about as frustrated as you are with the effectiveness of its job.
The putting to sleep part shuts me up. Pisses me off, but it shuts me up.
Right, but it also doesn't really solve all the problems. No. Kind of like you're yelling at these other parts doesn't feel very effective.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I get it.
Nothing works around these parts.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you something, James. It's actually quite nice to have somebody who's fucking paying attention for a moment.
I really am. I don't think you're crazy. I don't think there's anything wrong with you.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that, but anyway.
I think that we would be really fucked if we didn't have angry parts. And I think that I can't imagine us even surviving without angry parts.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I have done that. Yep, I have.
Yep. Yeah. Maybe we can bring that to Genie's attention and see if she notices what you've done.
I have to wake her up first.
Yeah, I can give her a call.
She's quite hard to contact.
She's the one that notices you, that responds to you occasionally. That, even wanted to give you the floor here, I think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
She's also the one that's got some things done with other parts.
Huh. You reckon?
Yeah. I got the receipts.
Smart ass. Yeah, the only bit that I can really see clearly of her is the bit that said, "We should talk to me." I appreciate that bit. I appreciate that she said that. The rest of her is kind of blurry. I don't understand what she's trying to do and what she thinks she can do. The only bit that's clear.
She's trying to learn that too. Like, your job is relatively clearer,
Oh yeah, mine's easy. It's just get pissed off. That's it.
Yeah. And she's trying to juggle all of the parts and get to know them all. And as other parts in you have pointed out repeatedly, hey, why'd you wait so long, right? So she's
got quite a lot to deal with.
And she's got a lot to deal with, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I suppose.
So, what do you think about that process of letting her get to know you and seeing if we can help her understand what you're about so that I'm not the only one appreciating you? And then maybe we can, wake her up to help out.
All right, I suppose.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what's in it for me, but
Oh, well, what do you want?
What do I want?
Yeah.
I want them to listen to me when I tell them what to do.
Okay.
Everybody inside. I want them to listen to me. I know shit. I know how this works. I know what works.
Yep.
And I want them to listen and pay attention and fucking learn. Learn.
Yep. Yeah, you want the system to be more responsive to you. So you don't have to keep shouting so much. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, me too. That's what I want.
Really?
Yeah. That's the goal. I'm trying to get Genie to listen to you more so that she's more responsive to you.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get her to do that with all the parts so that you're not having to manage other parts the way you do it, because she's got these other skills and talents and abilities, and she can speak to the 2-year-old with the blanket in a way that maybe you have difficulty with. She actually can do that. So yeah, if we can go that route, then she can provide you with what you want.
Sometimes it feels like I'm talking a different language. All these parts have their own language, and I'm not talking their language.
I think that's right.
And maybe Genie knows all the languages.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if she can do that,
she would be empowering you.
It'll make life a bit easier. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, she can recruit the army.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not entirely convinced of her recruiting skills at this point, but
right. Yeah, and you have no reason to be. I get that. I mean, we've only done what we've done, and you've seen what you've seen. So
yeah,
we can demonstrate that and work on that.
Okay. Well, this isn't a forever thing, you know. Like, this has got to happen, or.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So I totally agree. Like, again, the idea isn't to like get you to shut up.
No.
We've tried that, right? You got the go to sleep part, right?
You won't make that happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Again, it's all about responsiveness. Trying to increase the communication, the responsiveness.
I guess. Not sure I understand that.
Yeah, she can show you. She can respond to you.
Yeah. Genie can?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you got more faith than me, bro.
Yeah.
But okay. All right, so what do you want me to do?
I want you to make some space to give her back the floor a little and to step back so she can see you, so she can recognize the good that you've done.
Yeah. My oath. Okay. I'm not, you got, it better happen, you know. Because if it doesn't happen and she doesn't step up to the mark, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Well, that sounded like a threat. Well, it probably was, kind of.
That's fine. I get it. But again, you know, you have this ability to be front and center. So it's kind of it's both of you. You know, you've got to do that stepping back to allow self to show up, because you have that power of occluding it.
Right. Yeah, I do. I sure as shit do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
you're
on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching.
All right.
But I'm okay.
You're going to go on the other side of the table, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to go and sit down.
All right.
In a comfy chair. Yeah.
We're going to see how much of that Genie noticed.
Yeah, she noticed it all. Mm-hmm. I noticed it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now I'm here, I don't know what to do.
Responsiveness. Letting it know that you noticed it. Showing it appreciation. It felt unappreciated.
Oh, gosh.
You okay with that?
I think there's a scared part here.
Okay. Check in with the scared part.
I think the scared part is scared of my own anger.
Scared of what?
Genie, this is...
It's okay.
The anger is so scary.
Yeah. Let's get the scared part to step back. Genie can meet that anger the same way that I did.
The scared part
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really believe that.
Yeah. It's okay to be scared. Parts can be scary. And I bet that you've been hurt, scared part. I bet you've been hurt by other parts.
I've seen other parts get hurt. I've seen other people in the world get hurt.
Yep. And it's all real.
Because angry can really fuck people over.
That's right.
Real people.
Real people, yep. And real people all around the world have their own angry parts, and they do the same thing, right? They hurt each other. Right?
Yeah.
The angry part can't hurt self.
Really? Are you sure about that?
Yeah. When self is alone with this part, and the scared parts are in another room doing what they need to do. I've seen it in her. I've seen it in myself. The self doesn't get hurt by parts. But I do appreciate you being here, and I think that you also need your time and attention with self. And I want to hear your story too.
Well, I make sure that I don't even know what I just try to make sure that Genie doesn't get hurt by the anger.
Yeah.
I make her small. I keep her small and away and hidden so that
Yeah. And that's a valuable strategy, especially when other people out there are being angry. But again, in this space, in self-energy space.
Yes, it's different, isn't it? It
really is. Yeah, and we've seen her over and over when she's in that place with parts. I mean, just last time we spoke, she was talking about how she was kind of bragging about, look, I can create a room. I can create a magic cloak. I can create peace and quiet. You know?
Yeah, that's right. I'd forgotten that. Yeah, she's kind of she's been hiding her talents under a bushel.
Yeah. My theory is that it's parts that block her talents.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, so we're just negotiating with each part to see how much of that talent they'll let come through.
Yeah. God, it's hard work, staying, coming back into the room and feeling whole and oh God, it's hard.
I think you're doing a great job. Did you get that peace and quiet for a moment there?
Not quite.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't say peace and quiet. I'd say a little less chaotic, but we're not quite at peace and quiet yet.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Can be.
The thing that makes it hard is I think the thing that makes it hard this time, like I remember that I did it before. Oh, excuse me. I think the thing that makes it hard this time is that anger's in the room.
Yeah, and when anger gets in the room, everybody else kind of scatters, right?
Yeah, and it's hard for Genie as well.
Yeah, anger's one of the most powerful.
Yeah.
Thank God for when we need it.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
So what it feels like a wee bit at the moment is kind of a truce. It's like we've got a truce. Like anger is agreeing to stay over there.
Yep.
And I'm agreeing to be here and not go to sleep.
And the scared part is agreeing to...
The scared part is the scared part's moved quite a way away.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
it can go do something else for a while.
It doesn't want to do something else, but it's gonna sit over there on the outskirts.
Yeah.
But me and anger are, the best I can say is that we've got a truce. That anger has agreed not to throw its thunderbolts and lightning around the place.
Yep, and you agree not to go to sleep.
And I agree not to go to sleep.
Which is another way to say that you agree to maintain this space and be mindful of other parts that are trying to take over.
I've agreed to be present. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's about
you can do anything from here.
Yeah. Well, okay. That was a little bit of doubt creeping in. Like, just maintaining my presence is taking all I've got at the moment.
I get that, yeah.
Whoa.
I guess I meant you can go any way from here. You know, you can. Yeah, you're not being ruled by a part right now.
Yeah. Yeah, this is my room. I made this room.
Yep. That's what you wanted me to remind you about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The room is not very stable at the moment. But it's definitely here. And yeah. It's it is a calm place. Yeah.
Yep.
It might not be, the walls might keep wobbling and moving, but but the vibe is the vibe is calmer.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite gentle, actually. Although I've got to be a bit careful of gentle, because anger looks at gentle and goes, I can deal with that.
Right. Yeah, I'm thinking of a space where anger could come in and be itself, even if that meant starting fires or whatever else kind of lightning bolts, and that the space would be so strong that it would be okay for anger to just share who it is.
Wow.
That's what I'm envisioning. Just a listening space.
Wow.
Where it's just uncensored, you know?
But it would just take over.
I told you it wouldn't.
Did it?
Yeah, wasn't that the truce?
Yeah, the truce is not forever, though. It's just for right now.
All right. But really what it said it wanted was kind of to be listened to and
yeah,
it appreciated being acknowledged. It seemed to get that I genuinely respected it.
Yeah.
So I'd be surprised if it wants to wreak havoc.
A little bit of it does.
A little bit of it. But that's not again, like I predicted, that's not its only that's not the only side of it.
It's kind of like that's its habit.
Right. That's its tool.
You know, it's what it's used to doing. Yeah.
That's its role. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it can't quite figure out how it can still do that and not cause problems. Like how can it do?
I don't know.
Because it's really good at it, and it'll just do it. It'll just take over again.
Yep. That's what you two can negotiate.
But it doesn't understand.
Fortunately, Self can talk to all the parts. Self's got time. Self's got this space.
But there's something that Self needs to teach Anger that Anger doesn't get at the minute. It doesn't get, anger does not get how it can do what it does and not cause damage. It doesn't get how to do that. That's...
Yeah.
And self,
we haven't negotiated it.
How can anger negotiate something that it doesn't understand?
You can understand anger. You can see it. You can see it in a way that other parts can't, and that it probably can't even see itself.
No, it can't see itself.
You can appreciate it in a way that it's just felt unappreciated. You can appreciate its strengths, from a place that's genuine and channeled and led.
And not be taken over by it.
And not be taken over by it.
Right.
I think that appreciation piece is a kind of an essential first step, because otherwise it's not going to have any faith. It's not going to have any faith that you're on its side at all.
Yeah.
That you could be on its side.
It needs to know that I can see all of it. Or something that I can see not just its habits, but also its potential or something.
Yeah. You can see it growing, kind of like you saw that young girl growing.
Yeah.
That's the kind of relationship you can have with it.
Yeah, it's got unexplored parts that it doesn't.
Yeah. And stories, memories.
Yeah.
It was saying to me how certain it was that it has protected you.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that as well. I do know that.
Does it know that you know that?
Oh.
Can you show it?
Yeah. Hang on. Yeah. Yeah, it didn't know that I knew that. It thought all I knew was the havoc that it caused. But hang on, let me rewind it again. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. It knows that I know it saved me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of slumped a wee bit. Slumped down a bit.
Exhausted.
Well, it just is exhausted, but it's also it's kind of going about time sort of thing.
Yeah. Maybe you could apologize to it, or let it know that you see how hard it's worked and how long.
Yeah. I've always kind of known that it helped. I've always known that it helped. Like I've sometimes even called it up because.
Yep. But there's other parts that are scared and trying to shut it down, and they take over.
I understand. It has got an intrinsic value.
Of course.
Yeah, I do know that, and it needs to know that it has as well, because I need it to be here. Just. Don't know if you heard that ping. Did you hear that ping?
Yeah.
That'll be a response to our email. It's on my phone. I don't want to look at it. Oh dear, that set off a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So this would be a time when you can test out those walls. If anger starts rising up when it hears that ping, you can notice it.
Yeah. Anger just kind of went, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. And you get it now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gone on. Oh, Jesus. There it goes again.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing.
You should. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's funny is how much.
There goes mine.
How much that stupid little sound can control. Oh God, they're going berserk. Oh my God, they're all going berserk. Not inside. I mean,
all right.
All the siblings are all, and it's so funny that little ping, can ruin my day. You know.
But right now, you're smiling about it, and you're noticing all the parts that are coming up about it.
Yes. And I don't have to go and look at anything.
No.
I can just hang out here.
Yeah. It's more interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's got more nutritional value. Can I put it that way?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think that's kind of the message that we needed to get across to the angry part. It didn't want for you to go deal with other parts. It just wanted to do the yelling and for them to just follow suit. Yeah. And it didn't see that value of your ability to connect with parts.
Yeah.
Which you are modeling with it, and you can ask of it, how it feels about you kind of continuing in this.
Yeah. It says it's still not 100%, James. It's still, like it's got a really strong habit here.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a habit of 60 or more years. So but it can see that there's some I can feel it, but I can't explain it. The words that are coming to mind are like nutritious and wholesome and, affirming and nourishing and all that kind of concept. It can see that can happen here. It doesn't really quite understand, but it sees that it's here.
Yep. It's awesome.
And all I'm asking it to do, all I'm asking it to do is just go on seeing that. It doesn't have to do anything. It just has to add this to its vision and to its sight. Keep it in sight. Yeah.
Well, and it was saying that all you have to do is see it.
Yeah.
It was.
Yes.
I mean.
Yes. Yes. Oh God.
It just wants you to see it and respond to it. Or else it says the deal's off, the truce is off. If you're not going to respond, then it's got to do its job. It can't just lie down on the job entirely.
Nothing. No.
Right.
No. Totally.
Right.
Totally.
So you can either listen to it or it can take over.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, you and me, bro. I'm talking to Inga. Have we got a deal? Have we got a deal? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nearly.
That's a big improvement from.
Yeah, it is. It's huge.
From we can't be in the room together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to take time. It's going to take continuing that conversation.
Oh my goodness.
You know how to do it.
It's so volatile. Anger is so volatile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as those scared parts, as long as they have their own space, they can step aside. Or the one that wants to put you to sleep, they can step aside.
Yeah. It's very, it feels so fragile, James. It feels so fragile. I don't feel strong in it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that's okay.
It is. I don't feel particularly strong in it in me.
Right.
I mean, I get knocked off course all the time.
Yeah.
And my truces are broken pretty regularly. And I have to step way back and go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
All right. What were we talking about again? What did I promise you again?
Yes. That's what it feels like. Yeah. It's like that thing when you're reading, and you read a whole paragraph and then you realize you've forgotten what
Yes, it's just like that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But the more you read it, the more familiar you become with the paragraph. And eventually, you'll just be able to say it verbatim without even looking at the page.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And, I mean, there's other ways to develop that ability. So one way that I do it is have this podcast because it helps me see it in others. So,
Yes.
That is also very nourishing, is to listen to this podcast every day or every other day.
Do you know what I wrote down? One of the things I wrote down that I didn't read out to you? One of the things I wrote down was watching others gives me access to my own stuff, my own systems, my own parts, my own processes.
Right.
I like it. Probably this is something that everybody knows, but it kind of just went boom in my head. And I'm going, oh, that's why I listen to them. Because it's about me.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I mean, you say everyone knows it, but I think we're kind of, there's just a few of us.
Really? Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, how many people are doing what we're doing? How many people are
that's true.
listening to IFS calls so that they can learn more about how all systems work?
Yeah. I mean, it was a bit strange to me when I started listening that I just wanted to, and I think this does happen to a lot of people when they start listening. They just want to listen to more and more. I don't know. But anyway, that's what came to me. That's why I do it, because it gives me access to mine, which is a very strange thing. It's a very interesting phenomena. Anyway. Okay. Yeah.
Any final thoughts, concerns from these parts?
No.
Commitments?
The part that feels like this is all very tentative is there, but I'm kind of saying, yeah, it is, but it's okay. That's just how it goes sometimes.
Yep.
And it'll be okay.
Yeah. And we'll get to keep having these conversations. If you get too good at this, you won't need me around anymore. So
that's kind of the goal, James.
Yeah. So let's enjoy that.
I do appreciate you being here. Because I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. So thank you. I do feel. There's a lot more room in here, and it's calm.
Any requests about things that I am going to remind you about next time? What should I? Because I got my 2 pages of notes today.
Oh my goodness!
And one that I already told you I would do is remind you about the whole. You can remove whatever you want to remove. Publishing thing.
So right. Yes.
Anything else?
Yes, I will listen to when you send. Whenever it comes through, I'll listen and see if there's anything I want. Thank you for that. I don't think it'll be the whole thing. I think there might be bits of it. Yeah.
Is there any other requests that you have, or that maybe this angry part has, or any other parts have of me? Things that I could remind us about next time, or anything?
Remind next time. Yeah. I think just a really, really small, not small, but I mean concise synopsis of what we did. Because I do forget, James.
Okay.
I don't know why I do that, but I do. So
no problem.
That would be really good. Yep.
Cool.
Okay. And you're still sitting in your message?
Yeah, I upgraded twice since we talked about that.
Oh God!
I just upgraded something today about my chair, in fact, but
good. Oh good.
But you don't want to hear about that.
Yeah. Is it about a back? Do you have a back issue?
I have chronic back hurts every day, but finding great ways to deal with that and to alleviate it. And IFS has been a big part of that. It's given me permission to take care of myself.
Yes, good.
Yeah.
And so the chairs, the update are improvements. They're helping.
Getting better all the time.
Good.
Yep.
And it's your dinner time now, so you're off to.
Yep, off to the usual.
That's lovely. All right, James.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I don't feel like I say thank you enough, so thank you so much.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Talk soon.
Talk soon. Yeah, take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.